Alright, so this time we're going to do a Pinup Warrior of the Sun. By the way, all these build guides are going to be on YouTube. I'm just gonna post all of them. That way it's easier for you guys. Oh, it looks like I got ahead of myself. I already kind of opened this one. Okay. Wow, that's actually really cool. If you can see that sculpt here, I'll get back to it in a minute. But I love these with the black and white art cards. Or the grayscale. I keep saying black and white. It's not really black and white. It's grayscale. And then, whoa, that's cool. A prismatic lantern. +1 movement, unique, irreplaceable. During the showdown, you may archive this and gain 1 permanent affinity of any color. Cool. So yeah, that's it right here. Let's come back. What I think the most identifying stuff about this is the base. I wonder why that was there. Huh, weird. It was like that in the box. Huh. Didn't hurt the model or anything, so I'm good. Yes, boobs. Many boobs. Cool. Alright, so we got a lot of parts here. Not too many. Especially when half of them are the base. So I'm probably going to start with the base, come to think of it. Just because it's more identifiable and it'll give me a stable platform. Unlike most of the bases, she actually has a very unique base. And it kind of adds to the theme of the whole mini. So, just cutting off all the basing stuff. These are actually part of her with the scroll work in them. Are actually part of her, as well as this. So, that's her, that's her, that's her, that's her, that's her, that's her. And of course the arms and legs and the hair. Yeah, that's the back of her hair. Oh, cool. She's got Leia braids. That's cool. Never noticed that. I believe that is part of the base as well right here. Again, just be careful. Turn the mini around sometimes on the sprue. Try to make sure you don't cut the miniature. But it looks like it should be a pretty nicely slot fit. So I'm just going to trim out all the different mold material. Any of the contact points that this makes with the plastic injection mold, when it's actually, the plastic is actually injected in there, that just creates all those little bumps when you cut it off. And it looks like this goes straight into the base, so I don't have to worry about this too much. But if it is form fit, if you don't cut it off, it'll not quite be fully seated. So you don't have to worry as much aesthetically, but you do in terms of making sure that it fits. And dang it, I forgot about the mold lines on the Twilight Knight, but I didn't really see any because of the cloth, so it was okay. But I will have to go back on the white speaker eventually. Okay. Let's see, I believe that goes right there. That was pretty easy. You can see it on the back. It's actually made really cool, just like the Storm Knight. It's got that nice Japanese, like, all those paintings that are like of boats in the water during a storm. I forget what the art style is actually called. There we go. So, I'm actually going to glue these. Yep, there we go. There's one. There, that's cool. So that's the front, actually. It's pretty nice. It looks like there might be a little bit extra, but I'm not sure exactly where this goes. I thought it was the base, but I'm thinking it's her. But you can see it's got that same art style, so we'll see. But to double check and make sure there are no spots that look like this should fit into. But worst case, if there's a part you don't know where it goes, you can always come back later. Nope, it's at the very front of her. You can see it in the photo. It's the very front. Yeah. So it looks like it's some stream of cloud or mist But now, since there's so many different little accessories and streamers and stuff, I'm not going to worry about those right now. I'll cut out her body and put her body on the base. Oh, and just like everything, listen, I mentioned this before. When cutting these out, be aware of the heels. You have a tendency to see the heel as not quite as long as it actually is. Just make sure you double check so you don't cut the actual heel off of her boots. There. And then her boobs. Make sure you don't cut too much of those off, otherwise you'll lose detail. And then I've got her face here. And I will be learning, once things start slowing down around here with commissions and whatnot, I will start learning 3D modeling. And it looks like she has 2 heads. One with face mask and one without. I think I'm going to do the one without the face mask. Because even though the one in the photo up on the left is wearing a face mask, I've never imagined her with one. But I'll cut the head out just for later use. And sneeze. You'll end up with a lot of heads because there are so many of the miniatures have duplicates. Like one with glasses, one without. Or this one with a face mask, one without a face mask. So you end up with a lot of miniatures. It's actually kind of warm here. I'm going to turn the fan on. And be careful with these blades, they're a little fragile. And it looks like she has 2 hair pieces, which is perfect, because if you don't use the other head, then you have that piece with her hair. Oh, see, I was about to do it. It's actually for her, looks like it's for her body. I was about to cut off this nub at the bottom. You can see I was about to cut there. Don't cut there, cut further back. Because that nub is actually her neck. It's hard to notice that most of the time. And then just to save myself time and worry about, once you get the miniature together, you're going to want to figure out where these go. And if you haven't cut them off the sprue, then you're just going to give yourself more work. So I'm going to cut them off, but I'm going to set them aside over here just for later. Yep, exactly. Could mix it up, give myself one of the heads like I could if I wanted to. I could put the white speaker head on this mini. Or vice versa. That'd be some pretty interesting mixing. Oh, and then got the little lantern here. Just trimming up all the parts I did before, but I'm also trying to make sure that I don't go too overboard. I don't want to... Hey, Doozy, thank you very much for the follow. And this is a good miniature where you've got to be worried about the mold lines. So just as you look, they're very hard to spot, but there's one right here. It actually goes pretty much all the way up the mini. You don't have to worry about them so much. The King of Death ones are actually very small. But once you prime them, you'll notice they're very obvious after the mini's primed. So it's good to just get them out of the way now. They're much more noticeable on the skin than on the cloth. The cloth you can actually pretty much get away with leaving them, but on the skin it creates so much more work for you if you do that. Again, with her breasts, make sure you don't trim too much or you'll lose that detail. I got her hair piece. No, this is her head. And it's actually her hair. I keep saying hair piece, but I say that because it's an actual piece of the mini. I may wait to finish these up The arms are always weird, especially the shoulders, because sometimes they slot in, kind of. Sometimes they don't, and it's hard to tell what you're supposed to trim off and what not. So sometimes I just try to clean up the arms as best I can and then wait until I can get back into it. Again with the mold line, there's actually one right here from her knee to her. There we go. Which means it probably goes all the way down the mini, and it does. So I'm trying to. Clean that up. Hey Charles, welcome. Just building out some King of Death models. Alright, pretty much done here. Just going to make sure that everything I've got is good. I think this part is so small there was some bleed from the mold. You see that sometimes, where the seam in the metal and the injection mold isn't quite completely closed. And you see that on a lot of the really small parts. Sometimes on the big ones the mold is a little old, but there we go. It's actually pretty nicely slot fit, but I didn't notice that the connection with the mold was on her butt. I gotta make sure that it's not too bad. Okay, I'll have to really put a little extra paint. Alright, and then this part. Trying to put too much glue. You need enough, but not too much. There we go. It looks like there's the reason they have this line is because it's actually cloth underneath, and then her boobs are there. So, and now it looks like I have to worry about these. So I'll have to figure out where each of these goes. Alright. Just trimming up this. Because I have to put her head on, but I also have to figure out where these go. I knew it would cause me trouble later. So I'm going to look at that reference photo. It looks like their big ones are up on the side, and I think maybe the little ones are towards her waist. Which is probably why they have that. Then again, I don't really see anywhere to attach them on her waist, so they actually might be part of that too. So we'll see. May have to go to the website also and take a quick look. Again, on the edge of this, you see that little tiny strip. Little tiny thing. You can really see it. But that's when there's bleed. A little bit of the plastic seeps out of the mold when they make it. Happens from time to time. Alright. I'm going to see if I can find any other photos of the side, maybe. Wow. She actually only has... So, it looks like there are only supposed to be 2 of these. I don't know why she has 4. But she's only supposed to have 2. Interesting. No, the other ones are on her arms, I think. The other ones are supposed to be on her arms, that's why. Because I see a build... here, I can show you in the art card, actually. Yeah, there you go. Some of the miniatures I'm seeing don't have that, but it's there on each side. On each of her hands, she's got a strip of cloth, so that's why. Cool. That helped. It's always good to look at the source art, just in case. Yep, 2 on the arms, yep. Yep, I figured that out. I don't think I'm missing a piece of a cloak or anything. I just got to figure out how these big ones go in. So I'm figuring it out slowly. I'll figure out the angle here. So the one that has this really tight curve, I think, is on, yeah, the right side, or the left side, sorry. So here, it goes up pretty far. It goes like this. Yep, there we go. It's weird. You can see that. Just like that. It's holding in there pretty well. I'm not going to glue it. Yeah, that's part of the problem I try to warn people about, is that's always easy to do. Yeah, there you go. It's a really weird joint. But the one with this little tiny curve here goes on, you can see the detail on the back. And it looks like it fits right there, so glue that in really quick. Yeah, this is that's why I'm overly cautious with Canadian Death miniatures, because sometimes the build for them is really odd in ways that you wouldn't expect. Then I just had this in here, now it's already, there we go. Okay, so you basically want these 2 parts to line up. I'll point to it there. Want these 2 parts to line up and create a nice surface. And then the nice thing too is you'll have a double check built in with this other one that goes here. So there. Cool. Yep, I think he's smart. He's able to get good people to work for him. I think that's half of it. This is what I meant by the arms. I knew they'd be a weird fit, so I didn't quite know exactly how to trim them up. But this is the, yeah, you can see there's actually a slot in this here. There's actually a slot in this one for where the it's like right on her wrist, right above my finger. It's where the strip of cloth goes. But I'm not worried about that just yet. I'm just trying to figure out, yeah, there we go. Because we did well on the other side, it fits right in. Cool. So I'll glue that in here. Alright, other side. See what I mean by that? I was worried about the shoulder. It was a little odd. So I might have to fix that with green stuff or something. We'll see. Oh. Quite right there. Yeah. Yeah, that's more like it. I noticed how the arm wasn't quite fitting on, so there we go. That's more like it. You can see there. Now my shoulder doesn't look like it's got a divot in it. And she should actually fit perfectly into the base here with maybe her heel. Let's see. No, yeah, she's way back there. Nope. Yep. There we go. There's a slot down in there, right here. and a slot right above for her feet. So let me attach that really quick. Although, on a mini like this, you can make the conscious decision of how you want to attach it. It looks like everything's kind of spread out, so you shouldn't have a hard time painting it, even if you do glue it on. So it's always a question of whether you glue something on and have access to it or not. There, and actually I have to glue right here as well. I'll show you where. So I'm attaching a little more glue to where I already did, and then some right there as well. Now I'm going to hold this for just a minute. Oh, didn't even take that long. Cool. So we're there. Now I'm going to fix her head. It looks like I have a couple lanterns here. Not sure exactly where they go, but I'm going to find out. Make sure I've got her hair figured out. And I'm actually going to attach her hair to her other face too. That way I don't lose the two pieces. So that lines up. Yep. There we go. A little bit of a gap, but not enough to cause a problem, because when you paint the base coat is usually pretty thick. Then I actually like that she's leaning forward. It's a weird look for this sculpt compared to others. Most of them are standing straight up, but I like it. It's like she's dashing. I want to put this in a spot that looks not so awkward, because you want to see her neck, but not crazy amounts of it. But there you go. There we go. Hey, Bilbo Zaggins. Cool. Now I gotta figure out where to put the lanterns. So there's one on her left side, and I think that's the only one. I think you just get an extra one. Yeah, it looks like you... Nope, there's one on the left side and one on the right side. So, looks like there's one on each side. And there should be a spot for each one as well. Yep, there we go. So there's the one with the... Here, I'll show both of them. You can see I'm going off a lot of the source art as well. That's why I have it up on the left side. The one I actually found is the legit one, but it doesn't have all the stuff on it. But you can see there's one with a top piece, and then one without a top piece. Yeah, you're definitely right about that inverted sculpt. It's going to be weird. So I'm adding less than I normally do because I don't want a weird line from the super glue drawing. So. There we go. Cool. There's one. Now it looks like the other one's on the other side, and you can see right here, right there. There's that top piece to the lantern that isn't there on the other side because it didn't need it on the other side. But this side needs it. There we go. So it looks pretty. It's not quite symmetrical. You can see the top of a lantern is usually a ball. I don't know if you can see it. It's usually a ball, but you can see there's one side that's more curved than the other, so that way you know which side goes where. So you want the curved side to be pointed outwards. And actually, I need some tweezers here. That way. Yep. Oop. So you can use these tweezers. They're actually really nice. They have a nice edge. Most tweezers don't. Even hobby ones are kind of weird. Plus, they tend to be a lot bigger than they need to be. But like I said, I'm still just getting used to these. Need a little more glue. Now I can see where the angle is. part's tricky. I should have attached this before the arm. I didn't think of it. I wanted to make sure the arms were good. So we get to this point. Remember to attach the arms first, I guess. You can see it's already sticking because of the glue, but I need it in the right spot. Come here. Nope, you know what? I'm not going to mess with that. Nope. I was going to take the arm off, but it's too secured at the moment. Hey, you scared me, snail boy. Thank you for the follow. Somebody hasn't done that and my notification sounds really loud, so you scared the heck out of me. There we go. Now it's attached. Need a little bit more glue. So I'm just going to be careful. But I need a little bit more glue in that seam. Come on. There we go. That'll help hold it. Cool. Now I've got to attach the rest of it. So this is supposed to go on the front of her. This part here. I think there's a spot for it right there. Yep. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I was going to do a painting stream today too, but I ran a little late, so I figure I'll just catch up on building. And so that's what I'm going to be doing all stream, is I'm just going to do a lot of building. I've got a lot of white box minis to go through, and then if I make good time on those, and I seem to be, then I'm going to go through all the pinups, build those, and then I'll have a ton to paint over the next couple weeks. While I wait for my magnets for my armor cassettes that I just ordered today. So, right, I'm trying to get this centered. Come on, stupid piece. You know, it's out higher than I thought. But I kind of like it there. I'm going to put it there. I think it's supposed to go right up here or something. I kind of like it where it is. Yeah, I like it right there. Come here. Alright. Glue is running out. Nope. Actually. Is it going where it's supposed to go? Yep, it's going where it's supposed to go. Cool. I'm going to leave it. There you go. That's where it's supposed to go. It wasn't cooperating originally. It's still not. I'll make sure there's enough glue there. Oh, that's why it actually goes on her leg. So there's supposed to be glue on her leg. Alright, I'm trying to attach some. There we go. Don't want to go overboard on the glue because I'll create problems, but I'm noticing that mold line again. The one that was here on her knee. I'm actually going to grab my file. That's going to make it this easier. So I'll show you how to clean up with some files too. But let me let that dry and I'll attach the rest of this and then I'll do some cleanup. So I got to figure out where these go. It's more to figure out where each one goes. So there's a little bit left here, so I'm going to trim that. There we go. And then it looks like the more curved one is on the right side of her body. So this one should go here, which is right there. Cool. Glue that in really quick. It's actually a really cool mini. I'm glad they did it in plastic because the resin one is a little bit much. And it looks like the other one goes under her arm and comes out the front. So there's a spot here to glue it. And it looks like it is quite curved, but it does go right up there. There. That is an awesome mini. Look at that. That's crazy awesome looking. That's going to be quite a thing to paint. I can tell you that now. It's going to be quite a thing to paint. But as long as I approach the thing on the bottom in terms of like a gray or blue, give it a really artsy look. I think that'll be fine. But let me go get my files so I can show you a little bit on how to file out these things. I wish I could tell you to get these, because these were like $6 back in the day, but they don't make them anymore. These are great because they're actually pretty gentle in terms of files. So these are emery boards, but these are the old Citadel ones. The reason these are great rather than regular ones is because they have this like triangle wedge shape, so you can use this edge for getting in all the little nooks and crannies in King to Death models. So I'm going to use the harder one first here. So if you can find some that have that edge, usually the hardest one is good enough. But you can see I'm able to get around without having a huge emery board like for nails or something. They're never designed, or the modeling ones are made for like bigger plastic kits, so they're never quite right. There. So she's done. That's it for her. Cool.